This is one of the craziest stories I've seen all day. I can't believe it's true. I'm still looking into the details here. But Florida is now launching an investigation, and authorities in Florida are trying to figure out who scrawled something on the back of this manatee. Now, we'll get into what the law is around that and the potential charges people could face. But you can see right here from the New York Post, manatee found with TRUMP scrawled on its back in Florida. Let's take a look at this. Some video. You can see right along the back of the animal, clear as day, giant letters. This is the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that is now investigating this. It was on the Homosassa River, and I just don't understand what would bring anybody, any human being, to do this. As many of these other people are chiming in here as they see this, what would make somebody, supporter or not, do that to an animal? They say a manatee was found with the word TRUMP scrawled on its back in a Florida swimming hole, prompting this investigation. The defenseless animal was spotted with the political inscription over the weekend in the Blue Hole headwaters in Citrus County, about 80 miles north of Orlando. Witnesses who saw this clearly noticed what was going on. I mean, if that went by you, you'd be able to tell what was happening. And they're now looking at what to do next. You can see from this report here from Bay News 9 in the Tampa area, look how clear it is there. You can see the letters on the back of this manatee. And this is no joke. I mean, this is a significant crime that somebody's committed here. But I have a lot of questions. How would one even do this? I mean, you're not going to do that with a boat motor, I wouldn't think. What do you use to do this? God forbid somebody was going to an animal like this. Did they go in there and do that by hand and just carve TRUMP across the manatee and think that somehow was going to, I don't know, do something politically for them? It's unbelievable, and it's very clear in some of these shots here. You can see as that goes by. And the second big question is, what do you do with somebody, some monster who would do that to an animal? Well, in the state of Florida, where I actually live, they said that if you see a manatee, you got to be very careful around them. Anybody who lives in the state of Florida knows about this because they are injured by boaters all the time. And this is from the FWC. They say, look, but don't touch manatees. Don't feed them. Don't give them water. They don't want them to be accustomed to being around people. Don't poke, prod, or stab a manatee with your hands, feet, or any object. Why? Well, because they have protection by law, as you can see right here. I'll read this for you real quick. The manatee is protected under federal law by the Marine Mammal Protection Act of 1972 and by the Endangered Species Act of 1973. That makes it illegal to harass, hunt, capture, or kill any marine animal. This is definitely harassing and may even lead to bigger problems with the animal's life. They say it's unlawful for any person at any time, intentionally or negligently, to annoy, molest, harass, or disturb any manatee. Anybody convicted of violating this state law faces a possible maximum fine of $500 and imprisonment for up to 60 days. That's up to 60 days in jail for whoever did this, and maybe even more crimes because of the nature of this. The state of Florida can pursue prosecution under federal law in circumstances of extreme harassment. Would you say this is? I would. I would say this is putting a political message on the back of a manatee. And so they're looking into this to try to figure out what they need to do next. It's just a real and true shame that somebody would take it to this level to do this to one of these animals. And now we have to figure out what happens next. So what do you think? What should happen to the person or persons who did this to this manatee in the state of Florida? Why would somebody do this? And honestly, how? I mean, the worse I think about this, the worse it could be with somebody getting in there and by hand sort of doing this kind of damage to the back of the animal. It's a real shame, and you really got to hope that you don't see things like this, obviously, moving forward. And the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service is looking for tips and investigating this right now. So let me know what you think about this.